Hello, today I'm going to show you my camera and controller settings that I'm using in all my pro games, all my FUT Champs games, and all my Division Rivals games. Basically, any game of FIFA that I play. Now, as we go through these, I would advise that you copy them and then tailor them to your own needs a bit later on, because we are going to have slight different preferences on camera and controller settings. But what I will do is talk you through all the settings and why I use them. So hopefully you come away from this video with a better understanding of what does what in FIFA. So let's start with the visual stuff, which is the camera. This year, I'm on telly broadcast. We are at it again. Although I have changed ever so slightly. We are at 16 on the height and 4 on the zoom now. The reason being, through balls are very, very good in FIFA 23. And I'm sure on FIFA 21, I was using 16 and 4. So I've gone back to what I know. Last year, I was 12 and 0. This year, we're back at 16 and 4. But I do want to talk about one other camera angle as well, because I think this is very, very good and something that a lot of you will enjoy. It is the co-op camera angle. And the reason being for this is that through balls are so prominent this year. There is through balls going on everywhere. And what the co-op angle does is it like zooms you out the game, particularly when you're on height 20, zoom 0. It completely takes you out the game. You are at the highest point in the ground. You probably couldn't be further away if you tried. And one other setting on the camera is to have the power shot zoom at off, because if you ever do this power shot, this L1, R1 circle, you don't need it zooming in. It doesn't do you any good. So make sure you have that off as well. And then we go on to the visual, and I will start for you at the very, very top. We have the player name and indicator and the player name. The reason for this is I have to do this in pro tournaments. I check the fine print, you know, all the little words that come with like these booklets they send you. And it says I have to have it on player name and indicator and then player name. So if I have to do it in pro games, I'll do it here. Player indicator size is at default. I don't think I want it large. To be honest, it's just one big distraction. I don't know why people have it on large. I have seen a few people do it. I'm looking at you, Ryan Pessoa. I've seen your settings. I've seen the way you play.
Oh, that is harsh, you know.
Off on this, off on that. Hold to skip. This is obviously all your own preference. But then the radar is where things get interesting. I massively recommend changing the radar because EA sometimes mess the kits up on the radar and they get it completely wrong. What you can do is actually avoid that happening. So radar 2D and then red versus green, because I know every single game that I play is now going to be red versus green. No matter what kit I use, no matter whether they have a different kit, whether there's a slight kit clash, on the radar, it will always be red versus green. These are two colors that completely stick out from each other, and it's definitely worth doing because that can mess you up, I'll be honest. If that goes wrong, you can be in trouble. Online ID indicator, fade, net tension, tight, rectangle, hexagon, and on. And then off. I don't like having my controller on, to be honest, because I feel like we all know about the gameplay, yeah? We're all going to struggle. Certain things might go against us, and then you start looking at your controller, and you start seeing the ping in the game, and it can just wind you up even more. So I would have these off. This is actually good, though, the net tension. I'll definitely change that because it looks pretty clean in game. And whilst I've got you here, make sure you hit that sub button. The tutorials are flying. We're going to keep them coming. All I need you lot to do is keep subbing to the channel. We've done the camera settings. It's now time for the controller settings. Settings for attack and defense are on classic. We are not PES players around here. I'm strictly FIFA, so everything goes on classic. Competitive master switch is on. I don't know why that took me so long to say, but you have to do this in like Rivals, FUT Champs, pro games. They've now added a feature where the master switch is on, so you have to use it if you want to be playing at the top level. Basically, any game of Ultimate Team, I think the master switch is on. So definitely have that on. Through pass assistance is on semi. I think they changed that with the master switch, but it's something that I get used to. I have my through passes on semi assisted. So basically, it's going to be partially assisted, not fully assisted, and not completely your own, but somewhere in the middle. FIFA trainer hide, we don't need that. Time finishing on, I recommend learning time finishing. It does create a skill gap and it is hard to learn, but if you get some time in the arena, definitely practice time finishing, man. It's really good. I have the next player switch indicator off. Now, I don't like seeing another indicator on the screen because I like to see the player that I've got and that's it. Some people like knowing where they're going to switch next. So this one's personal preference, but for me, I have it off. The pass block assistance is on. Trust me, this is very key because if your player is near the ball, he needs to be blocking the pass. Like, even if you're not controlling him, otherwise, they will just let everything run through. So have that on. My auto switching is on air balls and loose balls. So anything that goes in the air, it will switch for me. And when the ball drops loose, it will switch to the closest player. But every other time, it's all my doing. I want to be in basically complete control. But on airballs and stuff, I think it'd be too difficult to switch that quickly because of how quickly it happens. Auto switching move assistance is on low. You can see the description there. It keeps the player you auto switch moving in their current direction for a period of time. Basically, you don't want it on too high because they will run for too long. I don't have it on none because I got told not to the other day. So I've now got it on low. I think this is the best setting for it. Definitely don't have it on high. So it's worth having as low for now. If you do notice something different, maybe go back to none. Clearance assistance is on classic. This is what I usually do. I think I've always had it that way. The player lock is on as well. Player lock-in is a very, very hard thing to do. And I'm probably going to do a tutorial on it. But I would have it on. For the guys that know how to do it, it is very, very effective. If you don't know how to do it, it will probably never, ever be a problem as well because you have to turn into Spider-Man to be able to do it properly. So if you're not used to it, just keep it on anyway. Icon switching off. Now, this is when you move the keeper and all them random little right stick symbols come up. So have icon switching off. I don't think anyone uses this, and if you do, you're the kind of guy that uses circle and X to fake shot. Right stick switching is classic. This is very, very key, people. Listen to me. They changed something this year when they shouldn't have. Either the adaptive or the player rotation. Something weird has meant some people's player switching is very, very glitchy. Make sure you have this on classic because this is the way we've always had it. I don't know why they changed it, but they did. And it could have caused a very big problem. Player relative as well. These two go hand in hand. Keep them together. I feel like I'm going to help someone in this video big time, yeah, because I've had a lot of people mention that they see it on adaptive and then it's lagging. So classic is the way to go. Ground pass assistance. Assisted, 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 assisted. There's not much talk about them. If you take any of these off assisted, you will notice a difference. The only one that I would say experiment with is a cross. Some people have semi-assisted on crossing. I've noticed that. But for me, not my kind of thing. I stay with assisted. The game has some crossing about it. There is a level of crossing this year. And if you really want to master it, you could definitely try it on semi. But I have kept it at assisted for now. Lob through pass is semi as well. That is triangle through ball. So anything I do with a through ball is semi-assisted, basically. Save assistance, assisted. I really need to stop saying these words because I have a slight lisp and it's killing me right now. Analog sprint off. Why do I have this off? Because for me, whenever I hold R2, I just want to run as fast as I can. But if you have it on, the further you hold R2, the faster the player runs. I don't like that. For me, as long as I hold sprint, it's because I want to sprint. It's not because I want a 75% sprint. Pass receiver lock late. This has always been a thing for me. I don't know the difference between the rest of them, but I think a lot of people have this on late. User vibration feedback and trigger effect off. We do not need any vibrations when we are playing FIFA. There you have it. My pro camera and controller settings. Screenshot them, send them to your mates. Make sure they know about the right stick switching. I hope you've all enjoyed the video, and I will see you all very soon. But what it does do is mean that you're less likely to get murked. Murked.